Hey, what's up, guys? Welcome back. This is E from E&M Gaming, and today we're going to start our part 3 of our horror compilation animations. So, yeah, they've been pretty good so far. We're about, I think, 23 minutes into it. I don't really know. It's whatever, 24, since it's 41 minutes, who cares? Um, I think after this one, the next one will be the last part, since these are usually about 32 minutes long. So yeah, these animations been pretty good so far. I can't wait to see what the creepy bar is. It has a little pentagram on it. Ooh, spoopy. All right, so let's get to it.
It was on Friday night. I was finishing the last deliveries that I worked for.
What do you work at?
I was headed to the bar
That's
that I
one
would
thing I
usually
really
go
wanna
to
know.
every night to grab a glass of wine. I noticed there was a new bar that had recently opened, a kilometer away from the usual bar. So I decided to try it out. When I arrived and pushed the entrance door, I noticed something very weird. There were only 5 people inside, and they were all dressed in Halloween costumes, like vampire, ghost, werewolf, witch, and black magician.
Hmm.
I felt really uncomfortable because I was the only ordinary person there. And also because Halloween was over two
Well, you
days
probably
ago.
interrupted the little Halloween party they had
I
going
was
on.
still awkwardly standing there blocking the entrance when all of a sudden, all the people started staring at me as if I had done something terribly wrong.
Yeah, because you're probably wondering, like, why the
I
hell are
made
you
my
here?
move
Get
and
out.
walked over to the bartender. The bartender looked almost like a real executioner.
It's a
He
Halloween
asked me
party.
rudely in a gruff voice, "What do you want to sacrifice, blood or flesh?"
Ugh.
Well, that creeped the hell out of me.
I think
But
it
I
creeped the
thought
hell out of
this was
anybody.
his
I'd
way
get
of
out.
taking a Halloween order of alcohol. So I requested to him, "1 glass of blood, please."
Well, I can understand when
He
blood could
turned
be like
around,
red wine,
grabbed
but
a
the hell would
wine
flesh
bottle,
be?
and poured it into a wine glass. Later,
I
he
want to know
opened
what
a
he would
drawer
have
and
said
took
if he
out a
would have said
black satanic pentagram
one
necklace.
shot of
He dipped the necklace 3 times while
flesh.
muttering
Like,
something into my drink. To my surprise, the wine turned black in color,
I would not
and he
drink
placed
that.
the glass on the table and told me to drink it in one shot. I was really thirsty
No,
at
don't
that
do that.
moment, so
Of
I
course
took the
you're fucking
glass
thirsty.
and drank it completely.
Ugh.
It was quite strong, and my vision was slowly starting to blur. I paid the bartender and left the bar immediately.
Yeah, I'm out.
While I was walking, I
Is
started
that a
to
dollar
feel
bill?
dizzy, and my
Okay,
vision
maybe I
was
would have drunk it
worsening.
if it was only $1, because mine
I
can be
wasn't
expensive.
focused on where I was going, as my mind was in a vision of all the faces of all the people I saw in that bar, maniacally laughing and giggling at me.
That looks like no one from the bar.
All of a sudden, I'd already arrived home during my vision. At first, I was relieved, but when I closed the door behind me and turned around, I knew that I was in the wrong house. It was completely abandoned, cold,
Oof.
gloomy, and barely
You better
lit with
get
the
out.
rays of moonlight. I tried to open the door, but it was totally locked.
How is it locked?
Right when I was going to
You
run
just
into the
walked
door
in.
to
Is it
break
like
it,
one of those
I
retarded
heard the
doors
upper
that
wooden
locks from the
ceiling was
outside?
creaking, as if someone was up there walking slowly, step by
Or
step.
bust a mirror?
I
Not a
was
mirror, a
really
window.
afraid as I had no weapon
Two
to
different
protect
glasses.
myself. I tried to call 911, but had no reachable service to call.
Of course.
My only option was to go upstairs and
No, it
find
was
my
not.
way out. I
That's why
carefully
white people
walked
die in horror
upstairs
movies,
and
because y'all
reached
like,
the
let me go
top.
explore.
To my left was a dead end, but to my right, I
But
saw a hallway
animation
with
has
3
a
doors
horror.
on each side. I opened the doors one by one to find nothing but dark, empty rooms and no way to escape. Finally, when I opened the
I thought that
6th
was an
door,
eyeball. I was very
I saw a
confused.
pentagram was drawn on the floor with 5 candles
Ooh,
around,
spoopy.
touching all 5 corners of the star. This sent me back to where the bartender dipped a necklace with the same symbol into my
That's
drink.
nasty.
And there was a figure floating vertically right above the symbol below.
It's just a shadow,
But
don't
the
worry.
light provided by the candles was not
Blanket
enough for me to
over
figure out
event.
what was floating. Accidentally, I dropped my phone on the old wooden floor, which
How do you
created a loud
accidentally
sound.
drop your phone?
The figure was
Standing
slowly
still.
advancing to my direction. I quickly backed off and hit my head against a wall behind.
I mean the
That
door, because you
figure,
literally just entered the
I
room
can't
and just
forget
took
it.
2 steps forward.
My body was completely paralyzed when I saw that the same bartender at the bar was this guy. He was still
He looks
dressed
so
as an
simple.
executioner and
He looks
faced
so
my powerless
decrepit
body.
and like detailed earlier.
To
Now
make
he's just
matters
like,
worse,
sup,
the
bro?
doors of the empty room started opening on their own, one by one, and out came all of the 5 people I saw at the bar. They were all laughing at me to the point I passed out.
Ugh.
Then
I'm
I
telling
heard
you, it's just
silence.
teenagers, and they just drugged him, and
Then I
then
woke up and realized
they
that I
brought
was
him to
in
the
a
house.
hospital. I asked one of the nurses what was going on. She told me that a group of teenagers
See,
saw me
teenagers,
walking
it
out
was
of the
them.
forest and then
They just
walking to the
lying because they
abandoned
do probably
house.
start having a freaking
They tried
seizure.
calling out to me, but I didn't respond nor look at them. Then the group saw me entering the house, and when they tried to open the door, it was locked. And so they called 911 thinking that I was trapped in that house. 30 minutes later, the police staff arrived and broke open the door and found me unconscious
He's
lying
just
on the floor.
vibing.
They brought me into the hospital and were trying to investigate what had happened in that abandoned house. Later, I told police officers the whole story when they came to ask, but they didn't seem to believe me. While some of them were laughing, thinking that I
Look at
was
this
making it
idiot.
up.
This dude got drugged.
After that, I
Rat
went
kid.
home and directly went to sleep. The next morning, I hurried to the bathroom because I had to vomit very badly. And
A lot
after
of
I did,
hangover.
I noticed that my vomit was black.
Yeah.
To forget things, I tried taking a cold shower. And when I was showering, I felt a sharp sting on my back. Then, when I changed the water temperature from cold to warm, the sting started to feel even more painful. I turned back with my head, barely making it to see behind. Then I was shocked for life. I
Damn, you
had the same
possessed.
satanic
You
pentagram
have that card in
carved
your
on my
back for the
back,
rest of your life.
which was surely done by a sharp object.
Well, obviously.
From then on, I never went to a bar
No, they got
again.
spewed and was just like Instagram horror story.
I was a big Tinder guy a few years ago.
Oh god.
Everywhere I went, I would update my location and then update,
Dude, no one
my
cares about
body
your
count.
statuses. Just stop.
Then I quit doing Tinder and stuck with Instagram. I know.
Why won't you go
they're
to
completely
Instagram? Why
different,
won't you go to
and
Grindr
IG
or
has a
something?
bunch
Oh,
of fake
never
accounts.
mind. That's for
So I saw this
homosexuals.
girl commenting on all of my friends' pictures.
No people, no
Then
girls
she
actually
commented on
like that
mine.
online.
I also saw my friends replying, so I figured she was a real person
Oh,
because
of course you did.
I looked on her page and she had way more followers than people she was following.
That makes no sense.
So I DM'd her.
Why would that
I
matter if
definitely
she's
thought
real or
she
not?
wasn't going to reply, but
She could just
did
be
within
baiting a
hour.
lot of freaking fools like you.
We talked for maybe 2 or 3 weeks and we
You're
made it
really
official.
excited to text her back, aren't
She
you?
was pretty, had a degree, and a good
A
job,
degree in what?
as she said.
Baiting?
I felt she was out of my league and too
She is out of your league, because you're fucking
Every day
stupid.
she posted new photos. And I told my friends about her and they seemed pretty jealous, except for my friend Ryan. He said I was stupid because I never spoke with her.
Yeah,
And I only
Shaggy,
messaged her.
long-haired Shaggy that
She
looked like
invited
he
me
don't do
over
any
because
drugs
she
is
said
telling
she
you the
could
truth.
cook. Ryan told me to don't go. The rest of my friends said don't have any kids. And
What do
they
you mean
would laugh.
rest of your friends? Your other
So I
friend?
went over there, but not without Ryan calling me a clown first.
He does not like you would call you a
The
clown.
GPS
He looks like
says
he'd
she
call you
lived
an
about an
idiot. He
hour
doesn't
away.
look too hip enough to call you a clown.
When I first started to talk to her, she told me that she lived in a nice neighborhood. But when I got there were people everywhere in the neighborhood.
That
was
should
not
be
that
your
nice.
first sign to get out when you see that local
When I
crackhead
stopped at
just
the
saying,
stop
"Hey,
sign
how
at
you
the corner,
doing?"
people walked up to my windows and
Like
asked
these
me,
two
what do I need?
fools.
But I pulled off really fast and got to the house. It was a duplex, so I messaged her, and she said to come up the stairs. It was about 9 at night, and people were everywhere just standing around. I knocked on the door,
See,
and I was
guys would do
definitely excited.
anything. Like, horny guys would
The
do
door opened, and
anything
to
to
my
get
surprise,
laid.
it was a bald-headed white guy with a patchy beard, tattoos
Dude,
everywhere, including
is
his
it really
head,
worth it?
with a tank top on. I asked, was Lisa home? And
Also,
he said,
that should be your
"Yeah,
first sign to get out.
come
Is
in."
some bald big boy just
When I
comes out of
walked
nowhere.
in,
It's like, "Hey, yo."
I was immediately hit
inside.
with a musty smell mixed with cheese. He told me to sit down,
No, you need
and
to
he sat
get
down
out.
across from me on the couch. He said she'll be out soon. He asked me did I want something to drink, and I said, yeah, sure. When I got up, I texted her, can she come out, please? She immediately said yes. The man came back in with 2 cups of juice, one for him and one for myself. Then I noticed that he put a phone down on the table next to him. So I acted like
What is
I
that, piss? Orange
got
juice?
some on my arm. Then I asked for a tissue. He went to get some tissue and he left his phone like I thought he would. I text her back, and to my horror, the phone rang.
Dude,
I looked
get
at the
out
caller ID. It was
now.
my name. I heard him coming back.
What did you get
He
anyway,
came
you
back
horny
in.
little bastard?
We sat there for about a minute. And then
Why
the
does he
phone
look like
rang
that?
again because he never checked the
He's
message that
gonna
I
rape your
sent.
booty.
He looked at the phone. I looked at the phone. Then we looked at each other. I postured up, and he calmly said, "I guess you caught me." Then out of nowhere, he lunged toward me, attempting to grab me.
Oh
I punched him, and he fell on his face. I ran out of
no.
there
There's
so
no way
fast,
some big
and I
buff
never
boy like
looked
that with
back.
tattoos all over got
Yeah,
knocked out by
I
a little
called the
pussy
cops.
punch by you, dude. No,
And when they
get
got
out of
there,
here.
the man was still knocked out.
No, he's not.
After that, I never went on dates with people that I met online again.
At least you learned something. That story's stupid. I don't like it. Smiling movement. Ooh, this one has to be spooky.
I was 10 years old, and I was home alone.
Why?
But that wasn't a big deal because we lived in a small city. My mom and dad were at my grandma's house.
That's
I
still a big
couldn't go
deal.
because I
If
was
my
sick.
daughter was 10 years
It
old
was
and was sick,
around
I would not
9
leave them
p.m.
home
when I was
alone.
about to go to sleep.
These
My
are
room
bad
was
parents.
really small, and it only had one window facing my bed. That window to me was kind of scary, because when you're a little kid, your imagination can sometimes go wild. At that time, it wasn't my imagination, though. Like I said,
Whoosh.
I was about to go to bed when I heard a loud scream coming from outside. It was really scary, but I tried to be quiet so I could listen
Yeah,
to
it's
what was
kind of
going
creepy.
on
I thought you lived in a
outside.
nice little neighborhood.
Nothing was happening, though. It was really quiet. Like nothing had happened at all. Quieter than
Because you're
normal,
sick and you're
actually.
hallucinating.
Some time had passed,
Who
and
actually has
everything
clocks like
seemed
that?
okay, so I just laid down and tried to sleep. 1 hour later, I heard that loud scream again, but this time,
Took you an hour to fall
seemed to be
asleep, dude?
closer.
Like, come on now.
I froze. I was so freaked out I couldn't even move. 30 minutes later, again, the same scream. At that point, I was about to cry. I don't know why, but that scream wasn't just a scream. It was at this high pitch, and it was just so
She looks
creepy.
like a titan.
Finally, 15 minutes later, I saw something at that window. It was a really skinny woman, and she seemed so happy for some
That's
reason.
someone, grandma.
She was smiling, and her smile was so big and
Why does
creepy.
her jaw look like that?
When I saw her, I started crying, and she started screaming again. I was horrified. She was just looking at me, smiling and screaming for the whole night. The next morning, my parents came back home, and I
These
told
are
them
really
everything.
bad parents.
They called the police,
You didn't come back
and
till
the police
morning?
found
That's why you
out
have a
that my
pedophile
window
mustache, you
that
hoe.
was facing my bed
Oh.
was broken. But it didn't seem like it was broken with some sort of weapon, but as if it were broken by a really high pitch.
Oof. Nice effect. Alright, guys, that's where we're gonna end it. This has been pretty good. I mean, those weren't as good as the other ones. These were kind of dumb, especially the second one was so stupid. Anyways, so yeah, guys, if y'all want to see the last part of it, just let me know. Like, comment, subscribe. Post the bell notifications if you want to know when we update videos. And yeah, link over to the video will be down in the description below. And I hope you have a great day. So yeah. It's being stupid.